Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to TV Fam Central, where we dive into the most fascinating and shocking stories in true crime. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most infamous cases in American history, the murder of Lyle and Erik Menendez. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are we revisiting this case? Well, for me, it's because there's one thing that has always bothered me about their story, something that keeps me up at night. You see, when Lyle and Erik were arrested and charged with the murders of their wealthy parents, Joe and Kitty Menendez, many people believed that they were simply spoiled rich kids who snapped under the pressure. But the more I dug into this case, the more I realized that it was so much more complex than that. It's a story about privilege, class warfare, and the darker side of the American dream. Now, let's talk about the facts. Lyle and Erik were born into a life of luxury. Their father, Joe Menendez, was a successful businessman with ties to organized crime, while their mother, Kitty, was a socialite who belonged to some of the most exclusive clubs in Los Angeles. The Menendez children were given everything they could ever want: expensive clothes, fancy cars, and lavish vacations. But beneath the surface, there was a deep-seated resentment towards their parents. As I dug deeper into the case, I found out that Joe and Kitty had been embezzling money from Lyle and Erik's trust funds to fund their own lavish lifestyle. They were living way beyond their means, and Lyle and Erik were left with little to nothing. This created a toxic dynamic in the household, where the children felt like they were being taken advantage of. But what really caught my attention was the argument that Lyle and Erik had with their parents on the night of the murder. The police investigation found out that the brothers had been planning the killings for months, and that they had even hired a hitman to do it for them. But there's something that still doesn't add up. You see, when Lyle and Erik were arrested, many people believed that they had acted alone. But I've always suspected that there was someone else involved, someone who knew the details of the plan and helped the brothers carry it out. And that someone, in my mind, is their mother, Kitty. Now, you might be thinking, Anna, that's a pretty far-fetched theory. But hear me out. There were inconsistencies in Kitty's alibi on the night of the murder, and she had a history of manipulating her children to get what she wanted. Plus, many people who knew the Menendez family have come forward over the years and said that they saw something suspicious on that fateful night. I'm not saying that I have concrete evidence to prove that Kitty was involved in the murders, but what I am saying is that there are too many unanswered questions to ignore. And for me, as a true crime expert, it's this one question that keeps me up at night. What really happened on that fateful night in Beverly Hills? That's all for today's episode of TV Fam Central. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with our latest episodes. And if you have any theories about the Menendez case, let us know in the comments below.